bruh, bruh, bruh. Hey kids, remember when you used to wake up early for Saturday morning cartoons and your biggest worries in life were whether or not the princess was in this or another castle? Let's go back there, because it's Throwback Thursday. Well, hey there, everybody. It is time. It's been time, and now it is time, and it shall have been time once this time has gone. But no, when I thought about doing a Throwback Thursday, which I have not done in a hot minute due to issues of various varieties, you know, if you've been on the channel, you know. Anyway, but I was like, I need to go back someplace comforting. And someplace comforting, oddly enough, is the Sega Genesis. I was like, I gotta play something on the Genesis. And what do you play on the Genesis? Well, you gotta play Streets of Rage 2. Like, what are you, crazy? Come on. Streets of Rage 2, absolutely. And so, yeah, it's time to do that. And the funny thing about it is that, like, the audacity to be reviewing this game in this day and age, my goodness, like, who do I think I am, honestly? And who I think I am is someone who actually has a very, like, deep personal connection to this game. Very, very real, alive memories. Because, like, here's the thing, is that, to play this game, I had to go over to my friend Kirk's house. And, like, my friend Kirk was a good dude. He put up with a lot, quite frankly. He put up with a lot. And, yeah, a lot that he shouldn't have had to, but, like, he's a decent dude now, like, and doing well in life. So, shout out to Kirk, wherever you are. But, like, his house growing up was kind of scary, because they had guns. Like, his dad's 357 was kept in a gun safe, but he knew the combination. And so he just took out the 357 one day and was like, here, would you like to handle this firearm? And I was like, yes, and I was about to dry fire it. And then he's like, no, we keep them loaded around these parts, partner. And if you don't know what a 357 is, it is a very big handgun. It is the type of handgun where if you don't have the upper body strength to handle it, you're going to punch yourself in the face. I almost shot a hole in their roof, which would have been, I don't know, between the size of a man's fist and between the size of a cantaloupe, depending on whether or not what was in there were hollow points. But, like, yeah, it could have been a problem. And, anyway, yeah, that's a thing that happened. His little brother, almost put a hole in my most tender places, with a 22, a bolt action 22. Yeah, I did grow up around guns, in case people don't know. I'm all about, like, be safe. Go hunting if you want to. Probably target shooting. Most people of that variety are totally normal and fine. That I know, that I have known. But, like, yeah, then you go into the houses where it's like, there's a gun behind the toilet, you know? You're like, why is there a gun behind the toilet? Anyway, yeah, it's a different vibe. And so, like, and Kirk's dad was huge and intimidating, and his mom always seemed angry, but that's because she was, like, a school nurse, if I remember correctly, and she, like, had to put up with, like, elementary school kids all day, which I would never. Like, that's the funny thing. I am a teacher, but, like, whatever type of teacher you are, you look at all the other teachers and you're like, I would never. And then all of us teachers of all of the age groups look at the, like, not the sped teachers, because, like, they got their own thing going. A lot of those kids are very sweet. But, like, the ED kids, oh goodness, we're like, nope, no thank you. Jeez, wow. Yeah, I know someone who worked with those kids, and she loved it, but like, she also got held at knife point more than once in a single school year. So yeah, makes you think of Streets of Rage with all the knife play. Yeah. Anyway, for real. But no, his mom was always angry, and she had a right to be. I mean, the things she put up with, and I don't know. I always feel like I totally judged that family, but like, they didn't have it so easy, you know. Like, my dad had a really nice paying job, and so like, we did all right. They never bought us video games, but like, our house wasn't scary. Our house was marginally awesome. Yeah, so except for the lack of video games. And so, yeah, to play this game, I had to go back to the house where I almost got shot in the crotch because his little brother, Kirk's little brother, whew, I don't know what has become of this child since, and I don't know what his problems were. But child had problems. He's the kind of kid who would ride his little kid bicycle against traffic, like middle finger up, yelling at all the drivers. Like that kid. And I'm like, oh boy. Do I really want to play Streets of Rage that much? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. So I did. And, you know, like, hey, again, shout out to Kirk and shout out to his family, because, like, they didn't have it so easy. And whatever, you know, little bro had, like, we were not as good at diagnosing and medicating back then. We were just starting that, and it was hella expensive. Most people couldn't afford it. So, like, yeah, I do give them a break. Absolutely, but things were crazy over at their house. Like, I think Kirk would agree that, like, you go over to his house, you are, like, potentially endangering yourself. Just saying. Now, potentially endangering yourself because we were little pyros, that's other stories, other day. Like, we were basically Beavis and Butthead, like, pretty much. It's true. It's literally true. But this was the game, and don't you go telling me that Beavis and Butthead didn't have fantastic taste in video games, because you know they did. You know they did. So, just like other superlative games, which represent the best that their genre has to offer, games that are like, okay, it doesn't get better than this. You know, like, you can't improve this. What would you do to make Super Mario 3 better? You know what I'm saying? Like, or Super Mario 1. Like, what are you going to do to make it better? Really, yeah, nothing, exactly. They are the superlative examples of platformer. Like, that's it. And everything else that has come after can only strive to be as good as, but never better. And the same with the Metroid and the Vania, with the Super Metroid and the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Look, there were 3 Game Boy Advance games, and they were all excellent in their own little way, but the developers of each knew, like, we are just, you know, reinventing the wheel here, because the last guy who came around and made a wheel, like, crushed it, and all we can do is just make more wheels. You know, like, that's all we can do. And so, yeah, like, Streets of Rage 2 is that superlative example of beat 'em up. It is exactly that. It is the game better than which no game in this genre can be. And therefore, like, you get so many games in the genre paying homage to this game. Because, my God, like, if you are not getting 95% of your nutrition from, you know, floor turkey and floor apples, mostly the floor turkey, a little bit the floor apples, but if that's not where most of your nutrition comes from, oh, that you, yeah, on the ground, but you gotta, like, karate kick a barrel. Yeah, that's right. Karate kick a barrel or a barricade or a street sign, you know. Yeah, you got to karate kick something. And that is how you get that floor turkey. That sweet, succulent, delicious floor turkey that gives you basically everything you need to live. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much. And so, like, this game was so good that, yeah, whatever I was feeling going over to Kirk's house, like, it was, this game was so good that I was like, whatever. You know, and I was a little scared, but I also, like, am bad at, like, being at other people's houses, you know? A bit of a weird kid, you know? There's a reason that Kirk and I got along so well, and a reason why we are so similar to the Beavis and the Butthead is that we're both the weird kid, you know? And that's why we got along so well. Anyway, but yeah, this game was it. This game was what it was all a freaking about. And it's funny because, like, these were the best graphics that we had at the time. Like, I had another friend who had a Super Nintendo. We liked playing over at their place, Super Nintendo. So much fun, absolutely. But, like, Sega Genesis, though, we all were like, no, these graphics, though. And for those of you who say Megadrive, I get it. I get it. Like, I understand it's interesting that it was different where you come from. But, like, yeah, we have some of those things as well. Well, I mean, Streets of Rage is not even Streets of Rage in Japan. It's Bare Knuckle. So, this is Bare Knuckle 2. Do I like that better than Streets of Rage? No. Streets of Rage is a very 1992 name. And I love it. I love everything about it. It is a game in the beat-em-up genre, better than which no other game can be. And that is why, even though I own the Streets of Rage 4, I haven't played it yet, and I don't feel bad. I mean, first of all, I have a cajillion games in my queue, but second of all, like, is it going to be better than the original? Well, when I say the original, I mean, yes, Streets of Rage 1 is pretty freaking awesome. Streets of Rage 2, though, 2, everybody knows. We all know. This is the superlative game. This is the best example. Anyway, so what else can you say about it? My own personal connection to it is deep, and I have feelings about this game, you know, that run as deep as the years that it has been that I have been pouring time into this game, and always able to feel the way that I have always felt about it, and that is, this is perfection. There is nothing better than this in this genre. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. Yes, absolutely. Love it. The Simpsons beat 'em up game? Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. Like, the ton of great beat 'em ups back in the day. But, like, are they better than Streets of Rage 2? Or are they equal to the superlative example, which is Streets of Rage 2? And that's just what it is. And so for a game like this, I have no choice. I have to give it a 10 out of a 10 of itself. That's what we're doing. Anyway, people, I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry for such an obvious pick, but I needed something easy coming back into it after a week of being a little beat up, shall we say. If you followed the channel, you know. If you don't worry about it. I'm okay now. Anyway, well, that's it for this one, people. Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.